the knife guy in Reno. So today I'll be sharpening with my dog Shaggy. He is a 100-pound golden doodle, and yeah, he likes to stay out here and watch me sharpen. So we have, I want to say about 12 knives to sharpen for 2 different customers. So I already had to explain to one customer I can't sharpen these. Let's see if the camera can focus a little bit. So, come on. So with these tiny serrations, I don't really have a way, trying to see if the camera can focus. There we go. So with these tiny serrations, there's no way to get in between these little teeth and sharpen how I normally do. So I just politely told the customer I can't sharpen it, and he was totally okay with it. There's only 2 knives like this out of the 6 he sent me. So I wonder if I could sharpen it like how I normally do, just edge trailing, but I don't know. I just never had any good success cutting with these. So let's see if these will even cut at first. And it's bitey. I mean, it's catching pretty good, especially on this thick paper, which is not a good sign. It's a little bit better, but I don't know. I just told him I couldn't sharpen it, and he was totally okay with that. So let's sharpen these 4, and then I'll take you to those over there. So I think the biggest thing that I've learned in this knife sharpening business is that it's okay to turn away customers. When I first started, there was just so much I wanted to take on, and I've made a few mistakes. So we're gonna start with our normal 120 grit Cubitron belt. And let me get my angle guide. Let's move this out of the way. So I believe I sharpened the other Spyderco knife around 18, so this could be set at that again. So with these, I want to go to 17 on the angle. Okay, so this was pretty much set at 18, 17.9. So let's drop it down 1 degree. $17, perfect. I like it. Okay, so we have 4 knives to sharpen here. This up. All right. Perfect. So I'm curious with, hey buddy, how's it going? All right, so again, it's gonna be kind of hard to hear me. Here's my respirator. That's the downside of this. So I hope you guys can hear me throughout this whole process. This customer only has 4 knives, so this should be pretty straightforward. Then I'll take you to the other knives as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Were you able to see the beginning of this live stream? I'm curious if you were able to see what I was talking about with the knives I couldn't sharpen. Could you let me know real quick before I start this? I'm not sure if you could go back in time on the live stream, but what I was getting at, no, okay. So this customer dropped off 2 of these types of knives with these tiny serrations, and I just couldn't sharpen them. So what I was getting at was, it's okay to turn customers away. You just have to explain to them why. I tried to cut it with some piece of paper. It was cutting very bad, but I don't know if I could use my normal edge trailing method of actually sharpening this, but I haven't had any good success trying to sharpen these tiny serrations. So I just told him I can't do it, but he was totally fine. So when I first started sharpening, I made a few mistakes. I took on a knife. I need a shout out. Kyson, okay. I took on a very expensive collector's item knife, and it had a chip in it. And I told him, yeah, man, I'll totally do it. And I was in over my head, and I made the mistake of marring it and screwing up the finish, so I bought it off the customer. And that was a very good mistake that I made and learned from it. So it's okay to turn away knives from customers. So that's pretty much what I was getting at. And let's get to sharpening. You don't hear me? Can you hear me now? Well, I'm gonna get the sharpening, and then when I switch belts, I'll take my mask off so you can hear me. Let's see. Okay. Let's see what this does. Okay. So I've already set the burr to the white line. Okay. Back on this side. Okay. Then tap on the side, turn it up a little bit.
guys see that little chip right there? So it's going to take a little bit just taking that out. So it's just very patient. Alright, Tyson, I'll see you, buddy. Okay. Okay, that's we're going to take a little bit more. Let me get a little bit further. All right, so that's 120 grit. Then I have my A30. All right. Here's my dog, Shaggy.
Hey buddy, this is my dog Shaggy. He's about 100 pounds and he likes to come and watch me sharpen it a little bit. All right.
All right, so I'm done with the A30, which is about 600 to 800 grit. Going for the A16 Trizac, which is about 1200 grit. That's gonna leave a nice mirror polish and a little bit of a smoother edge. And here's my dog Shaggy. Hey buddy. Just hanging out. Alright, so I am done sharpening. Now I'm just going to use the leather belt. Alright. So we got 25 people here. Where is everyone watching from? I'm in Reno, Nevada, myself. Alright, so this is done. You always want to make sure,
Take my respirator off. You always want to make sure that you take your leather belts off. So even though I told the customer I can't sharpen these because of how the striations are, I'll still clean them off for him, and he was totally fine with that. So turn this off. And then with this guy, I'm just gonna hit these a few times. So the leather belt took off a lot of the burr. This one's just to refine it a little bit more. Can you guys hear me okay in the live stream? I hope so, since no one is responding. This is a kangaroo strap, awesome leather. So since I go edge leading, so the belt is coming towards me, there's not much of a burr. So this is just to remove any micro burrs that could be left over. All right. For final test, let's see how they do. Lovely. Very sharp. Beauty. Perfect. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so let me go wipe these down with some rubbing alcohol. And then I also like to test these knives out, just making sure it cuts through my butcher paper, which I wrap the knives up in. So let's do that with this guy. So we can place him back over here. Butcher paper. Yeah, that's good right there. Beauty. Very beauty. 1, 2. 3. The alcohol helps because people sometimes let these sit in water and it creates these water spots that are pretty hard to take off. So the rubbing alcohol helps clean it up a lot. And even though I didn't sharpen these, I'm still gonna just clean it off for the person, put them in a sheath. Yeah, I wish I could sharpen these, but I told him another option is I could actually grind down this whole edge, but then the edge will actually be higher than this bolster, so I'd have to grind that down, and he didn't want to deal with all that. So I'm like, okay, totally fine. If you guys have any questions about sharpening, please let me know. All right, so let's get a couple of these. It's gonna fit. Barely perfect. Nice, cut off the excess. This guy. So if you guys are happy with this video, please comment to see if you want me to do any different videos. Like the page, it definitely helps me out as a brand new, I wouldn't say brand new, but as a smaller business for knife sharpening, that helps me out a lot. And if you guys have any certain videos that you want me to do, not just live streams, I'm totally open to the idea of, you know, specific videos to show you how I sharpen, any tips or tricks, how to improve your sharpening game, or at least just to keep like your knives sharp in their first place. Perfect. Okay. Oops, camera got away from me in a sec. And I'm just gonna wrap it up in the butcher paper, and that's how I present it to the customer. All right, this one is all ready to go. Now I just have to wrap up some twine and toss a few business cards his way. Oh, all right. Very good. All right. Now, those two will be for the next customer. So I can never be as big as the big retail shops that sharpen knives. So my goal is to provide a very good sharpening experience for the customer. I am a full-time fireman, so I do this on my days off sharpening. And I just want to give the best customer service that I can. So, sharpening currently out of my garage on my days off when I'm not at work. That looks perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Keith, for getting your knife sharpened by me. Perfect. All right. Set one of knives are down. Put them up here. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 knives for another customer. So she asked if these could be sharpened at 15 degrees. So I'm going to sharpen the angle, or I'm going to change the angle. So before we were at 17. So again, I'm going to start with my 120 grit Cubitron belt. Swap out tape. I like to use green frog tape. It's pretty much the best one that I've found to prevent the knives getting scratched up. This is a metal platen, and I don't want the metal on metal. Perfect. Wait for it to zero out, calibrate. Okay, so let's drop this to 15. This was currently at 17. .1, 15.2, I'm happy with that. You don't have to worry about trying to get specific on the numbers. Within this range is totally acceptable. All right, so same process. All right. So I got my respirator on, so I have that lever for electrical work. Don't think. Oh, are you talking about which lever? Oh, yes. Yeah, dude, this is awesome. So my platen, this is like my main platen here. It's cut off. So it's cut off to fit on this guide right here. So I have a metal ruler, and this is going to act as some extension. And then, yeah, so I wait for it to zero. So this, how it's angled is at 56. Zero that. And then back on the platen. And again, I'm at 15.1. So this is an awesome tool to have. I do swap out the batteries probably every few months. And then when I do mobile sharpening jobs, I bring an extra set with me. But this, yeah, this Klein is amazing. I'm glad that was helpful, Maverick. All right. So I'm gonna start sharpening. If you guys have any more questions, I'll stop the machine, and then with my respirator, I'll take it off.
1 second.
So when looking at knives, try to inspect them like before you sharpen. You see how there's a whole bunch of these lines over here, all the scratch marks. This is a highly likely from someone using one of those pull-through sharpeners, like the electric ones, like a Chef's Choice. There's nothing wrong with those electric sharpeners. I mean, there are a few things, but this is a huge issue because you have those 2 angle guides, and then when you rest like the knife on one of it, there's metal shavings, obviously metal shavings, that can get attached to it and then just grind up on it. So yeah, just if you have those electric sharpeners, be very careful. It's totally fine to tape up like your knives. So put the knife in there, tape it up, so to prevent this, because even though this is a great knife, this is just an eyesore. So hopefully that helps someone out there.
Hey Gabo, hold on 1 sec, buddy. I'll explain it to you. Okay, hold on. My bad. My bad. We're good now.
Sorry guys, just knocked the camera off. No big deal. Yeah, so is the part you covered in green tape your angle guide? Yes, it is. So this is my angle guide right here. And I always use my Klein a digital angle guide to help me find it because I don't trust these ones exactly. But the green frog tape is perfect because I don't want metal on metal. So, I mean, you could use like the blue painter's tape, which is fine. I've used both the green frog and the blue painter's tape, and I prefer the green frog tape. It just seems to not damage as fast because sometimes the knives will pull this tape and scratch it. But yeah, this is This is fantastic. I watched someone else use this. I'm like, oh, that's such a good idea, because I did scratch some knives when I first started. I'm like, oh, well, that's annoying. So get yourself some tape. Doesn't matter, blue or green. I prefer green, but yeah, this is awesome. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more knife sharpening tips. It definitely helps me as a growing knife sharpening business as well. We got 105 people. Oh, thank you, dude. I appreciate it, Maverick. We got 105 people. Where is everyone watching from? I'm currently in Reno, Nevada. That's where my home shop is. So I sharpen knives when I'm not fighting fire. So I'm a full-time fireman. So I do this on my days off in about 2 years. So I'll put the respirator back on. So it's kind of tough to talk with this. This is a A30 Trizec belt, about 6 to 800 grit. And then I'm gonna sharpen all these. And then for the straightened knife, I'll sharpen it on top because I don't wanna use the 120 grit. That thing has too coarse of a belt.
Thank you, Gabo. Appreciate it, guys.
Do I use different speed for different blades? Yes and no. I usually stick around 2,000 RPM because I feel like that's a good speed to remove material fast enough, but not overheat like the knife. But on the smaller knives, I do have a cup of water, so I can easily, like, for this type of knife or this type of knife, I could just put the water, the knife in here in the water, cool off like the tip. Because the only part that really heats up a lot that I've noticed is the tip. I have overheated tips before, and it's such an easy fix. Like, it's such a dumb mistake to do. But I feel like 2,000 RPM edge leading is great. I could go slower, but this is what has worked out well for me. But now when I go to my other machine for edge trailing, I go 1,400 RPM. The belt goes away from me because I guess there's two trains of thought. If you go slow enough, so slower than 1,400, you're not really gonna be removing too much material, too much of the burr. If you go faster, you can actually roll the edge and make it more blunted. So all the hard work we did with sharpening could be ruined on this step. And I think 1400 is a good happy medium. Do the blades get hotter with higher grinds? It does. So you never want, here, let me show you what a clean 120 grit belt looks like. Okay. Let's see this underneath like the light. Okay, so you guys, here, let me zoom in. Okay, so you can, you guys can actually see, this is a 120 grit belt. I do have 80s, 50s, and then diamond belts, and then Scotch-Brite belts to remove burrs, or to remove rust. I actually have a great video coming out. Someone dropped off this knife, this serrated knife that was actually burnt up in a fire. So I'm going to, hold it right. I'm going to use all those Scotch-Brite belts to remove all the rust and sharpen it and give it back to the customer. So back to this, you can actually see all those indentations here. This is 120 grit. When you go to the higher grits, this is a brand new Trizac. It's a different pattern, but zoomed in, it looks like tiny, tiny pyramids, but they're so much closer together that they do heat up more. So I still use the same speed, but I don't linger. I don't hold over one speed or at all, because this is the part where I actually burn up like those tips. So that's an awesome question. Thank you for asking that. Did that answer it for you? I'm not sure if it's Gabo or Gabo, but hopefully that answered. With the higher grits, it does heat up the blade faster because the material is closer together. So I hope that answered it. It does. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, perfect. Let's get back to sharpening.
So that's the 2,000 RPMs right there. No problem, buddy. Alright, so now for this, I'm going edge trailing. That comes up, and I'm going to create a burr on this side. Then I have, I have my on-off magnet here and a wire wheel brush. How old are you, if you ask? Because I'm 37 years old. I have a child voice. Okay, so that's all there is with this knife. Let's see if it cuts. Yep. Oh, I'm so happy with it. So good. Yeah, I'm 37. I'm not sure if you can hear through the mask or not. So this is the A16, so it's about 1200 grit. It's going to leave a nice mirror finish on the knife. My customers ask for a good looking knife and I want to give them that. So oh, I wish I was in my 20s. Like my back feels like it's 80 right now. I've been sharpening for 2 years. I just started a YouTube channel a couple months ago. All right, so now go to the final part.
Yeah, I wish I was in my 20s. Yeah, my back feels like it's 80 years old. How long have I been sharpening? I've been sharpening for a little over 2 years.
All right. So now I have my leather belt. So there shouldn't be too much of a burr left over, but going edge trailing or edge leading, so it always leaves a smaller burr than normal. So I'm gonna do like 1 or 2 passes and just gently kiss like a knife. So 1400 RPM. All right, I am done sharpening. Taking the burr off, take the mask off.
All right. Do I have any air suctioning systems? No, I only use like the mask. I sharpen it out of my garage, so it's kind of limited space. There are some great systems out there, or I've seen people even just use shop vacs. You have to be cautious because these are hot shavings, so you have to be careful. If you're putting hot shavings into plastic, it could burn. Yes, this is a paper towel, so yes, this could catch fire, and it does when I sharpen like lawnmower blades or hatchets. The sparks catch on fire, but then I put them in this metal tin bucket. I wet it down, and that is my process of doing that. So I wish I had a better filtration, but the magnet paper towels try to surround it. The edge is, it's called edge leading, so the belt's coming towards me, spitting most of the metal shavings right here where I can capture it. But yeah, you have to have a respirator. So, oh yeah. Oh, I cut up two. That's even better. Perfect. Okay. So it's this guy. Very good. I'm gonna hit these actually with my leather strop. This is a kangaroo strop, and this is amazing. Let's get it in frame actually. Perfect. So where's everyone watching from? I'm here in Reno, Nevada. That's where I sharpen out of. And then even making sure each knife is sharp. Let's test this guy. Very sharp. Use it to cut customers' butcher paper. This is how I wrap everything. Austria. Oh, how cool, man. Beautiful. I hope I had that in frame because I cut very nice. What happens when a knife with a non-stick grinds? What happens with a knife with a non-stick grinds? What do you mean by the non-stick grinds? I'm sorry, I don't know like what that means. Are you okay. The gratins, is this what you mean right here? So if this is what you mean, I usually tell the customer it's almost time to get a new knife. A knife with a dents. Yeah. So these are called different things. Gratins. It's like the releasing part of the knife. I don't think it really does too much besides aesthetics. But if you look at the knife, here's the actual edge part, pretty thin. You come up here, it's pretty thick. The more you sharpen, the thicker the thicker the edge will actually be. So it'll actually be, even though I'll sharpen it, it'll be harder to cut things because it's so wide. So when it gets up here, I've sharpened knives when the blade is gone to almost up here. I tell the customer, like, this has to be severely thinned. So you come at a very acute angle. It takes a lot of work. Slovakia, but I live in Austria. That's awesome, guys. Yeah, that's cool. My wife and I want to go to Australia, Austria, Germany. Like we want to hit up Europe soon. So going back to this, the higher you sharpen, the harder it is going to cut, even if the knife is sharpened, because the edge is so thick. So when I do get up here, I usually tell like the customer, hey, it's about time to get a new knife. Even though it's sharp, it may not cut well. So I hope that answers your your question. I try to give I'm not here to get rich, so I try to give the customer like the best advice that I would want someone to give me. So sharp. I hope that answered your question, buddy. So sharp. That wasn't a good cut. There we go. Yep. Very, very sharp. Are you sharpening knives, or are you thinking about getting into it? Beautiful. All right. Do one final test on my best scale. I wish I recorded it before I did on my other actual camera, but let's see how it is with this knife. It was around 700 or so. Okay. One second. Okay, so I just recorded it for my customer. Came out to 160. So let's see if we can do it again. Do it on this. My luck will probably be like 300, which would annoy me. But let's see. Not really. I have a pocket knife that I sharpen freehand on whetstones and a leather strap. Yeah, man. So leather strap, find the same angle that you sharpen at, and then obviously go edge trailing, so away from you, and light pressure, light pressure, let the weight of the knife do it. And then you can even have, oh, over here, got these angle guides, and you know, this one's at 17. So if I sharpen this at 17, for example, let's put it here. So I got it up here, and then I look at how wide that is, and then I could put my thumbs up here. It's like, okay, well, this is how tall the knife has to be. Obviously, I sharpen it lower, but I hope that helps as well with stropping. Let's put that back. Okay. Moment of truth for this guy. Come on now. $195. Yeah, I'm happy with that. The other one was 160, but we're just talking about numbers at that point. Cool. Let me wipe these down, and I'll package them up. So, getting close to the end of this video. I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you guys haven't, please like, comment, and subscribe. That helps me as a small business channel and owner trying to get a little bit bigger and show more people on how to sharpen. So if you want to see more videos, tips or tricks, yeah, please let me know. I enjoy actually having these conversations back and forth. When I make the long form content, it's just me just making the video, which is also could be pretty good. And I follow at the knife, I guess, YouTuber as well. I just like the knives, so I'm learning. Yeah, man. Well, dude, ask as many questions as you want. You can also reach me at thenifeguyreno@gmail.com if you have any questions, man. Or, you know, leave a comment in one of the videos, and you and I will start, you know, just chatting back and forth. It took me a long time to figure stuff out and how to sharpen, because there's so much stuff out there, and there's no playbook. There's no ABC for sharpening. So you talk to 10 different sharpeners, and you'll have 10 different ideas of how to sharpen. And this is just what I've come up with. And for me, it's been a great system. So if I can pay it forward to someone else in need, or just who wants to learn, absolutely. So, all right. Got a couple of these knife covers, knife sleeves. So I just got this neck phone holder. So instead of having a tripod, I just have it hooked up to my neck. It looks a little funky, but I hope the video looks pretty good for you guys out there. Is it Gabo or Gabo? I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. The second one, Gabo, perfect. Awesome. Well, if you guys have any suggestions for different videos, if you want to see something different, let me know. If you want to see how to sharpen axes, pocket knives, different stuff, yeah, just let me know. I'm totally open to all ideas. Gabriel. Sweet. Yeah, I actually like this format a lot more than just making other videos, but I see a benefit of the other videos as well. But if I can actually talk to you guys in real time and answer questions, it's pretty cool. All right, those are all done. All right, let's go to wrap these up. So, Gabriel, yeah, man, just let me know if you need any extra sharpening advice, any tips or tricks, if you even need help just with your own system of your own stones, man. So, thank you for letting me know that you prefer the live streams. I do feel it's kind of boring sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. You guys are just watching me out there and sharpening. I wish there's some music, but I know YouTube would shut that down very quickly. So maybe I can find some non-pirated or free music to use. So at least you guys have some music to listen to. I don't like that tape. Looks weird. Tape looks weird. Is anyone else OCD? Sharpening itself is like ASMR. Sweet, man. But yeah, man, make sure you message me, email me, comment or whatever, and then we'll keep chatting, because I know how it's easy to get lost in the interweb. And then, you know, the biggest thing is like, yeah, I start with sharpening stones, diamond stones, ceramic stones, whetstones, and oh, there's so many things out there, man. So as a business, I can never go back to whetstones. It's just too slow. It's cool, and if you have nothing going on, it's great. You can just zen out and do it, but I can never go back to actual sharpening or to whetstones. Got my twine to make it look pretty. I'm so pretty. Couple of my business cards. Call me. You guys can send your knives. QR code takes you to my address. Not to my address, to my website. What type of scissors that easily cuts through the blades? What do you mean, like the blades? Perfect. What's the person's name? Cindy. Perfect. All right. I need a professional gift wrapper and handwriter in this. It was just the extra cover. Oh, yeah. So, whoop. Oh no, my bad. Oops, sorry guys. All right, so with this, I don't want, I mean, each one is 12 inches long, and the person, it's just a pain to wrap up like that. So I just cut through this is the extra cover. So I bend it a little bit to find out how long like the blade is, and I just cut a little bit above it. So I hope that helps answer it. If this could sharpen that, all that, I mean, if my scissors could cut through knives like that, that would be amazing. All right, guys. Well, I'm about to sign off here, call the customers, let them know that their knives are done. Do you guys have any more questions for me? Keith and Sydney are all done. Awesome. So this is what they look like when they're all done, guys. All right. Sweet. All right, well, I'll stick around just for a minute longer if you guys have any more questions. This is my first time seeing this. Cool. Well, thank you for Pete for checking it out, man. I hope you liked it. Try to clean up my shop a little bit when I'm done sharpening. That's all for now. Thank you. Well, sweet guys. I don't know how often I do this, kind of like the spur of the moment when someone drops off a knife. I'll just go to the live stream. But if you subscribe, it'll let you know when I'm doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. So here's my magnet. All those burn marks are from the sparks burning through the paper towel. Still trying to think of a better system for catching all this. I've had a few other my friends who are sharpeners tell me some other things of how to, but you know, I replace these paper towels so easy. And obviously I don't want to fire, but that's pretty much it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. This is my setup. Please give me a call if you need any knife sharpening or if you need any advice. Have a great day. Bye.